Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm excited to be here. And yes, let's begin by saying yes to life, by embracing whatever comes up, saying yes to it, and generating the hope and making wise choices. And the reason we can make wise choices is because we have this ability to create space. Even if there's no space, there's still space. And we can create more space by saying yes to life, by embracing things. And at the same time, in that space, we have the freedom and power to choose, and we choose life. We choose how to make things different, how to make a difference. And so I wanted to talk about this because I feel like we're all in this place of chaos, in this space of not feeling like we have control over our lives. And there's a lot of truth in that. But we always have control on whether we react or we respond to it. And so going back to my recovery, and even now, one of the things that I focus on a lot is how can I serve? How can I help others to share my experience, strength, and hope? To share, like, how did I do it when I felt powerless? How did I do it when my life was unmanageable? And even though there's some parts of it that are unmanageable now, but 41 years ago in recovery, I had no help. I was coming out of nothing and I was lost. And so how I found myself was by forgetting myself and serving others and thinking about the highest good. So that's why I do this. This is the business I've been in and that I am in. And so just feeling that people are in that space, how do we deal with it? What is running our lives? Are we reacting and having the wave of life hitting us? Or can we ride the wave of life by choosing in the chaos how we want to be, how we can make a difference, and to focus on what we can control, not on what we can't control, and having the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. So that means being comfortable, being uncomfortable, doing the things that hurt, that are painful, and working through that. That's why we need the courage, so the fear to say yes to it and go through it. And if we can do that and we can help others in that energy of saying yes to life and saying, okay, I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference and to share it, to have a voice and say, hey, this is how I did it. This is how you can do it. And that we all need to put something in the mix. We got to have skin in the game because it takes all of us. It's not somebody coming to save us. We are the solution, and we need to do it now by realizing what are the values that we live for? Who are we? What's running our lives? And I choose to let my life be run by joy, compassion, seeking to understand rather than be understood, but also how can I help? How can I be of service? And so when I help others, I help myself. When I forget myself, I find myself by being able to do what we do. How do we do this thing in a way where we're in the joy? Because pain and suffering is part of life, but there's a 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. So we're going to have the woe, but we can have the joy by relating to it and actually allowing our latent abilities to express themselves in this chaos, in this idea of it's painful, but we can make choices. And I'll share a simple story. I've worked with a lot of athletes, and I was remembering this one situation with this female athlete. And she was a senior, and she didn't play in the first game of the season, and she was upset. And she came to me, and we talked about it. And I said to her, well, you have to make the coach play you. And she said, what do you mean? I said, you have to think about how can I help the team? What can I do to help the team? And if I do that and focus on how I can be of service, it's a way where I feel like I can do something about where I am. I can make a difference. And she did that. And she was willing to play different positions, but she was really willing to work hard and practice and to make the coach play her. And that's the shift from being a victim to being able to say, okay, how do I use this as a stepping stone, not as a roadblock? And I have many stories like that with athletes and with people in general, just having them see that there's something they can do. And if they have to rely on the St. Francis prayer that talks about, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is feeling alone and powerless, and reminding people that they have the power of choice. They have the power to say yes to life, generate the hope, and make wise choices.